Melody Carnivore Diet. If you are new to this channel, I welcome you to our community. My name is Melody, and this is Sizzle Serve Yum, where I've transitioned from the ketogenic diet to full-time carnivore. So I'm telling you about carnivore lifestyles, tips, things that I use, some recipes, and also some beginning fitness that you can do, such as walking. So you can look at this other video that I did up here. Okay, so we're getting into the nitty-gritty, guys. When you start the carnivore diet, there are some things that you will start to face and you will start to realize. One of them is if you know that you have become addicted to sugar. I feel like it is a relevant topic, and it's a pretty serious topic that you got to kind of come to terms with when you start any kind of diet, especially the carnivore diet. If you're doing strict carnivore, this is when you're really going to know that you are a sugar addict. So I'm going to give you tips on how you know you're a sugar addict and how to overcome those cravings. All right, these are all things that I also went through, okay? First thing on how you know you're a sugar addict is you feel like you cannot survive without that thing. That could be your daily cup of coffee. Oh, I know that might rub somebody the wrong way. I'm sorry. But it might also be if you're planning on having your cupcake or Pop-Tart at 2 p.m. every single day, right? If you're needing it every single day, then you really got to stop and think, All right. The second thing on how you know that you are a definite sugar addict is you are going to start creating some unhealthy habits, which might be also binge eating, right? So you may want to sit down every Friday and scarf down maybe a whole pizza, and you want to do that every single Friday, or maybe you want to do it every other day or almost every day at maybe 7 o'clock in the evening, and you're doing it daily, you're doing it often, you're doing it consistently. That's how you know you're also addicted. That, to me, I know I am a huge addict when it comes to carbs, especially high refined sugar things like pastries, cakes, cookies. Those are things that are triggers for me that I have to stay away from. Another thing on how you know you are a sugar addict is if you have hiding places. Come on, I'm talking to someone in this video. You could be having you could have a few hiding spaces. Like, say maybe you've got candy bars in a drawer, maybe you've got a snack drawer at work, maybe you've got a place in your car, maybe you've got some stuff in your purse. Those are the hiding places. And also maybe you have a cupboard at home where you don't want the kids or your husband to find them or your wife to find them. That's another reason of how you know that you're definitely addicted, because why would you need to hide a habit like that, right? All right. I found another thing, and this this might be something that not just addicts do, but people that are just trying to break the habit of overeating. You start doing the wandering thing. You're going into the kitchen, you're just looking. You're going through the cabinets, you're going through the fridge, but you're not really hungry, but you feel like it's time to eat something sugary, right? Another way that you know that you're also an addict is if you realize that the binge eating can sometimes happen in groups. So think about large holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Those are two big ones for me. Maybe family get-togethers. Everyone's like, yeah, eat more. It's okay. Sometimes eating more is not necessarily okay, especially if it's of the wrong thing. You might want Aunt Sally's awesome dump cake, and you cannot have it, right? And she may give you half, or maybe, bless her heart, she may have made a whole thing for you. But then that triggers the sugar addiction even higher. Another reason on how you know you're definitely addicted to sugar is if the normal amount that you had at one point was good and now it's not good any longer. That's when you know you really need to stop what you're doing, and then you have to be able to get more of that. So for example, you have your daily candy bar, right? But now one candy bar is not satiating that feeling that you used to get when you get that sugar hit, right? Now all of a sudden you need 2 candy bars and maybe 3. That's how you know that you're definitely addicted to sugar. And then also you feel like you really can't control it. Like you have to have it, right? It's like you're allowing it to control you. Like I have to have these 3 candy bars a day, or if I don't, XYZ is going to happen. I used to have that every time, I would have my monthly, you girls know what I'm talking about. I used to say that I needed to have Reese's peanut butter cups all the time. They were my true favorite candy to eat. Halloween, the kids knew to pay their taxes would give me the Reese's peanut butter cups. Same thing with Snickers, right? But again, I had it in excess and I felt that I couldn't control it. So I just managed it as best as I could by making sure I always had that on hand. And that's where the weight gain started. But then I was also doing these 2 things, which I know I'm not the only one that has done before, where you start kind of bending the rules. Like if I don't eat, an excess of XYZ, I'll give myself some peanut butter cups. Or if I do this, I deserve a treat. I know I'm not the only one that's gone through this. So it's like you kind of mentally, you're saying to yourself, because I achieved this one task, I can get this treat. Yeah, so those are some of the tips on how you know that you are addicted to sugar. Now, when you're trying to get rid of sugar, like you're trying to just stop it in its spot, like stop it in place, I do want to let you know that you do experience withdrawals. There are sugar withdrawals, and they can sometimes be harsh, but sometimes it can go on anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks. For me, it was a week and a half. When I went on the carnivore diet, it was a week and a half that I went through that sugar. I want to say that sugar withdrawal. Yeah. But I was also going through a caffeine withdrawal too, guys. It was brutal. Don't do both if you don't have to. You don't have to do it the way I did it, but maybe just one at a time. All right. So here's how you can get over the sugar addiction. Okay. The first thing you want to do is you've got to plan this out like anything else. Everything, you gotta have a plan in place, right? You don't want to feel like you're drawing straws from here and there, just trying to figure out what you can do and not be prepared, right? Preparation is one of the best things that helped me with carnivore. It's also helped me with my beginning fitness level, and it's also helped me in other areas of my life with my friends and family. So you got to plan for this. And the planning is going to help you to not repeat the process. So it's going to also help you to break that cycle, and so you can start a new lifestyle. All right. Next thing. All right. So this is how you break the sugar cycle. You're going to actually slowly transition out of being accustomed to eating those treats, right? And part of it is you're going to taper off. I don't know if you remember in my last video, I talked about how to taper off with foods transitioning from like your normal SAD diet, standard American diet, to the carnivore diet. You can use the same tapering off. You're going to eat less of that. So if you were eating 2 candy bars every day, you're going to taper off now. Start off with 2. Next day will be 1. The third day, you'll have, maybe a quarter. Let's say you'll have 3/4 of it. Maybe that 4th day you have half. Then you'll have 1/4 of it. That 5th day and then that 6th day, you are not going to have any candy or cookies or anything like that. So that's how you can taper it off. Another thing you want to do is don't encourage yourself by buying it, right? If you know that going into the supermarket is going to be a trigger, because goodness gracious, it was a trigger for me, go ahead and make your shopping list ahead of time. Make it online. You can have your groceries delivered to you, and that's going to help to reduce the cravings of wanting to buy the sugary stuff, especially when you're going through the withdrawal. All right. Another thing is, do not watch commercials. You know what I'm talking about, those pizza commercials where you see the cheese pulling, or if you see an amazing decadent cake or ice cream, I say change the channel, because here's what's happening. All right, so in our subconsciously, whenever we watch, look at an image, or if we listen to something, our brain just takes that information in and it stores that information. And then what happens is it doesn't matter if the information is bad or good. It comes up again and it resurfaces. So to prevent that image from like embedding in your subconscious mind, turn the channel. Or if you're on your phone and you happen to see a commercial, just flip your phone over and let the commercial go and continue with your business. So that's another way you're going to deal with that. You're also going to learn to be accountable. And part of that accountability is going to tell your friends, tell your family about what you're doing so you can gain support from them. But it's also going to help you to really come to terms of, I know that I'm addicted to sugar, and these are the things that don't work for me. Sometimes we don't want to deal with things head on because we want to keep doing that thing, but we know long term that's not healthy. We need to break that cycle, and in order to do it, the accountability really helps. So I'll give you an example. My husband is a blessing. When I was going through the carnivore detox, I thought I was going to have to go to the hospital. He was like, just push through a little bit more. I think you're going to be okay. And he was ready to take me to urgent care because he was concerned. But if you have the support system in place, like sometimes they could see it from a different perspective. And then also he reminds me, is that carnivore aligned? You know, is this something that you really want? And I'll say, no, I don't want it. And then I just stop it and then I keep on moving. All right. Another thing you want to do, guys, and you may not like this, but dump all of your treats. You're going to have to go to each of those hiding spots, your purse, the cabinet, that box, that shoe box that's in your closet. You're going to take it and you're going to throw it in the trash. Don't entertain the idea of giving it away. Just throw it in the garbage. It's not good for you anyway. And then another thing that you want to take into consideration is avoid taking specific routes that you normally would have taken to get the treats. So for me, that was a trigger. I had to eliminate taking one particular route to go past Dunkin' Donuts because I loved donuts and I love Dunkin' Donuts in particular. I used to have to avoid going down this one road because I used to always make a little left and then boom, I would go and get my donuts. So avoid the routes if you can. All right. Another thing is don't even bother to eat alternative foods. So if you're quitting sugar, don't be like, oh, I'm going to go with the sugar-free thing. Nah, man, I'm telling you, it's just going to prolong the addiction. So that's for me, that's how it works. I mean, if you feel like you need the alternative to just get through, you can do that. But I'm just telling you, in the long run, it does prolong the addiction and it can trigger feelings of, okay, well, maybe just this one time I could have Aunt Sally's dump cake. It's gonna be okay. and you can't, right? And then you want her whole dump cake, and then you're eating the dump cake and the alternative sugar. So yeah, just get rid of the alternative sugar, guys, especially if you're planning on, really taking your health seriously. All right. I'm going to tell you, don't play with fire. You can play, what are you talking about? All right. Part of that is making sure if you've got a big function to go to for like parties, go ahead and eat before the function. So that way you're not tempted to eat Aunt Sally's dump cake. You can be like, oh, Aunt Sally, I'm sorry. I'm full. I ate. I'm sorry. So that's one way, because you're kind of getting rid of that temptation because you're already full, right? Another thing is it's going to help you to deal with maybe the pressure of the situation of having to eat it and saying no. If Aunt Sally is very pushy and she says, hey, I want you to eat this. I made this for you. You can gently say no. Something that I also like to do is carry like a bottle of water with me when I'm walking around. If I know I'm talking to people, because that makes me feel like I have something, so I don't get the temptation of going in and eating that thing. Also, you can say that it's an allergy. You can say, hey, my doctor said I can't have that because it's an allergy. And you know what? You really don't need to explain anything to nobody. You could just be like, I don't want that right now, but thank you so much. And that's it. All right. And I want you to also not stroll down memory treat lane. Like, oh, when I used to have this, it tasted good. I used to eat this. I used to eat this. Don't stroll down that lane. Just keep it moving. All right. I've got some notes here. I got more notes, so we're going to keep going. All right. Let's see. All right. So now what we're doing at this point is we are changing how we think. We are changing how we approach our new lifestyle, in which, one, sugar does not control you. Sugar does not control the things you do. Sugar does not control the things that you say. And you can control what you eat. And you can say, I will control what I eat. And say that to yourself. Do these little affirmations maybe before you decide to make dinner. Today, I'm going to have an amazing dinner. Like, just speak that into existence. All right. And then another thing I tell everybody when you're going through the kicking the sugar is you want to make sure everything that you are eating, you are reading. This even goes down to salt. Yes, y'all, salt. So now you can see sometimes an iodized salt, sometimes dextrose, a sugar, is actually added. And I've seen this on a pack of sugar. I've seen this on a pack of salt that came with like maybe a fork and a knife set. Like when you do like takeout food, and I ordered my regular patties and I seen that, and I was like, hold on a second. I looked at this package again. I was like, there's 2 ingredients, but this is only salt. And I was like, maybe it's saying salt and pepper because the packets were connected. And it said dextrose. And I said, this has sugar in it. And so I tossed it. So just watch out for that. So watch out for seasonings. If you feel like the craving is strong, and I've also done this many times, and I would be so ticked off because I couldn't have like that one thing, my Reese's peanut butter cups. I used to go for a walk. Now, the walk would be short. Sometimes the walk would be like 3 minutes and then the craving would go away. But the most important thing is stepping away from that eating area. Places that you would hide and eat food sometimes. I would also stay away from like the kitchen during that time because I knew like the binge eating was starting to like, I would get like that trigger to have that sugar and I would want to eat that food. So that's what helped me to kind of stay away from that. Also, make sure you are getting enough sleep. So if you have lack of sleep, that's going to raise those cortisol levels, and those cortisol levels, that's their stress hormone. That's going to prevent you from also losing weight, right? But it also is going to up your anxiety level. And then on top of that, that's going to cause the trigger to want to snack on something. And that's just a normal body function. All right. If you have to buy treats for the family, and my family, they are awesome, God bless them, I will only do this. I will buy just enough for that one time. I won't buy excess of it. I asked them to keep it away from me. I asked them to keep it out of my sight. I say, I don't want that. You guys know I can't eat that. And then they do support me and they either get rid of it or it's being left alone. All right, so also the last thing I want to tell you is make sure that you are celebrating your progress. So if you've gone 1 whole day without sugar, celebrate it. If you've gone 10 whole days without sugar, celebrate it. But you also want to make sure you're putting this on a calendar so that way you know when you're committing to this, when you're starting, and when you're also planning to stop, okay? Now, you may not want to stop once you get past this one part, but I'm telling you, it is going to help you out, guys. So count it down, right? You can put it on your calendar for the month, the day, the week, the year, the years, and just use that as your own accountability where you're celebrating it for yourself, not for anyone else. All right. Well, you can break the sugar addiction. I've given you some wonderful tips here, but it's not just about willpower, guys, but it's about careful planning to help you overcome breaking this sugar cycle. And just keep in mind, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget, of course, to hit that subscribe button. Share this wonderful video out to someone that is trying to also break that sugar addiction. And then also let us know in the comments your aha moment of this video, if you did any of these things and what you've done to overcome it, or which tip that you're planning on using on the most. And then of course, be sure to watch this next video. I've got tips here on what I wish somebody would have told me before I even started the carnivore diet. Take care, guys, and of course, I will see you in the next video.